Welcome to the Own Your Own Shit Show, where we talk about how your mind and body affect your whole health. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Andrea, and you know the drill. If you want to learn more about us, check out our links below. And this week, we're going to talk about weird rashes.
Have you ever had one?
Yeah. It's weirdly, I've had more people call me in the last month with just some random ass rash that
Ass rash?
was everywhere, not just on their butt. Actually, do people get rashes on their butt? I guess maybe heat rashes.
Oh yeah, like diaper.
Yeah. Or even if you've been hot, like at horse shows sometimes, in the middle of summer, you've got like leather.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
This
is not about ass rashes. This is, and it's not about eczema or psoriasis or chronic issues that you're going on. This video is just about some random rash that you've gotten that flared either torso or kind of almost even all over.
Yeah.
What I often see is it's related to two different things. So if you want to know, if you had a weird rash and you thought, yeah, what the heck was that? And you want solutions, or if you have weird rashes that come and go, then stick around. We're going to talk about that today.
About the weird rashes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just a quick heads up. Content here may not appeal to everyone.
Did you know
What?
that the skin is the second liver?
What? Who knew? I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of times if you have something that's come to the surface, it's basically because your internal body has said, okay, can't cope and deal with this anymore. So it just bubbles up to the surface. You got to get out.
Yeah.
Got to get out.
Yeah.
Right?
And you mentioned the word discharge, like
it's a discharge.
which is actually what the vesicles or whatever they are secrete.
Yeah, exactly. Discharging. It's the body trying to dump stuff. So it's either toxicity from an overload of poor dietary choices for a long period of time, which we will go into solutions near the end, so hang around.
Yep.
Or stress.
Mm-hmm.
Again, most people's livers are a little bit sluggish. It's life. We're in a toxic environment. As much as we try to eat clean, stay clean, do whatever, I do several detoxes a year because you gotta clean the pipes, clean things out,
true.
right? So if you've never done a detox, then you just think of it always building, and then you add some emotional, stressful overwhelm, some event that occurred or something like that.
Like Christmas.
Yes, like the holidays.
The holidays.
Exactly. And then what happens is then the body just, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. It's meh. And it's going to throw it in your face.
Like a rash.
Yeah. And talk about different body places. So if you had a weird rash, where did you have it? If you have had one, share in the links below and we'll go over that, right?
Yeah.
But there's so every part of your body has a meaning. Whether you're aware of it or not, it does. So think about it. If you get a weird rash just on your hands, they say that's about, well, is there something in life you don't want to touch? Or do you not want someone else touching you? Right? Because, again, hiding, right? Like acne as kids, we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Acne is often a way to hide yourself. If you have self-worth issues, and, a lot of kids are super about acne. We're not talking about acne, but body parts signify certain things. So where does your weird rash show up?
Yeah.
Is it on your arms? Is there something you don't want to take in or hug?
Or legs.
Legs?
You said that one's you don't want to walk into something?
Yeah, of course. If you think of what are your legs used for? Going somewhere. Is there somewhere in life you're going that you don't like? Are you not happy with the direction of your life? Right? Obviously, sexual organs is sexual. There's an issue there around that. But generally, weird rashes don't affect the sexual organs.
Oh.
Yeah. And they often don't affect the I've seen it in the upper thighs. But often it's the torso. Up into the neck. Sometimes on the arms.
Maybe we should specify what a weird rash is versus like
we can
a hive or something. Or
well, hives are kind of in that realm. So hives can flare because either you've eaten something that you shouldn't have, and or again, liver's overloaded. Now it's like, okay, I can't process this one more thing. Blah, it's going to come to the surface. Or emotional overwhelm. And from my 35 some odd years experience, one of the biggest emotion that creates hives is resentments or jealousies. There's one specific remedy that I use, and it'll clear it up like that.
Whoa.
Especially hot, red. So we'll actually add an image into this video of what we're kind of talking about, like a weird rash. Okay?
An angry one.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, weird rashes are angry,
Hence
red,
the resentment,
hot.
anger.
Yeah. It's a bubbling
out. Yeah. Oh, look at us go.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Now, here's a question.
Okay.
So, I am allergic to amoxicillin.
Okay.
Would that have been related to this kind of thing? Because I woke up with hives all over my torso, but would that be more of a...
But why did you have the hives? Like from the amoxicillin?
Yes.
Okay, so you knew that cause.
I didn't at the time.
No, but it had a cause.
Okay.
This is sort of, if you have something that comes up, you can't relate it to a drug. You can't really, I just started this, there's nothing obvious, right?
It's good to point out.
Oftentimes, because it is more in the emotional realm, right? Unless it is a food-related overtime, which I have seen, and that becomes really chronic, and you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
The food, where they're just covered in this horrible eczema-y, crappy, nasty stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which I have a kit for, which we'll put a link below, and I talk about all that in that kit. But this is just one of those random ones that just all of a sudden pops up out of nowhere, right? And it will eventually dissipate on its own. If it doesn't, then there are certainly ways to deal with it, because then that is more dietary related. But if it is an emotional realm, then it will flare quickly, but it often will trickle away on its own. But if you don't want to get one, then of course, I would say, being aware of your mental emotional state. B vitamins if you're feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So there is a documentary called Heal on Netflix right now. And it actually shows this woman who's super overwhelmed with life, and she's stressed and in sympathetic nervous system all the time, fight or flight. And she has this wild rash that's all up her arms and all on her throat and her chest. And she's like, it can't be explained. And so that's when they started doing therapies with her to reduce her stress and calm her down. And it started to work, but then I think she got really overwhelmed with work again. Yeah. And then it just started to come back. But it looked red, angry, like pustules almost. And yeah, so if you're interested, that's something you can check out too.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. So it really is kind of a hydra-headed monster. Because it's like, so yes, usually stress and emotional stuff is what kind of pushes it over the edge. But you've already got issues going on inside. So there's probably 99% of the cases digestive issues and liver and overload toxicity to begin with. Yeah. Right? And then you've got this emotional event that overloads you and it pushes it over the surface, and now you're dealing with it. So yes, there are ways you can deal with it topically and help it to calm down, but if you don't fix the whole problem, then it's still going to come back.
And come back with a vengeance.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you've gone and used steroids to kind of cover it up and get rid of it.
Like hydrocortisone.
Exactly. Sometimes it'll work for a little while and then it comes back again, right? Yeah. Because really all you're doing with hydrocortisone is pushing it deeper back into the body. You're just pushing it back in.
Suppressing.
Yeah. And it's like eventually it's going to bubble back out again, right? Yeah. And when it does, it's usually worse. So sometimes it's better to just say no to the hydrocortisone and work through some of the issues that we're going to share with you now. So some tips and suggestions. Yeah. So if you have a weird rash or you've had one, or in case you have one just flaring now and you popped up this video and you're like, I got a weird rash, what the hell? Right? If you have a weird rash right now, first of all, what I would say is clean up your diet.
Yes, that's a huge one.
It really is. So with, things that will trigger and flare the skin are all of the nightshades in food. So like tomatoes and eggplant and peppers. Yeah. Are mushrooms in there? I don't think. No, not mushrooms. Yeah, so potatoes and eggplant, and fried foods. Like, just clean up your diet altogether. Lots of fresh and raw, lightly steamed. Don't overload with meat. Get rid of the sugar, even the dairy and the wheat. All things that make the body react and keep you in chronic inflammation. So you want to get rid of. You want the inflammation to calm. So internally, clean up the digestive system and take the load off.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And that'll help you do something immediately, because the emotional stuff does take a lot more time to figure out and work through and deal with. So
exactly.
Digestion.
Yeah, and honoring, so digestion, and then for sure starting to honor emotionally where you're at and looking at ways to resolve that. And again, we'll share some of the kits that certainly sometimes for mental emotional overwhelm, I find remedies are a really good precursor to getting you to work through your stuff, and all of those kits come with a workbook that walk you through steps and suggestions on ways to change that state of mind, right? So that's something to look at. The other thing with rashes, so topically, one thing that's always worked with myself and my kids is get a really good clay, like bentonite clay, and mix it with like a little bit of water and put lavender and frankincense essential oil. Both of those. So interestingly enough, is lavender essential oil used neat, in other words, like in full strength out of the container, will stop the itch like that.
Whoa.
When my kids had chicken pox, I'd read that in some book from a doctor that was all natural and blah, blah, blah. So when my kid had chicken pox, we actually just take straight lavender essential oil and dab it on all the spots. Didn't itch.
Whoa.
I know. So lavender is really, really good at just, again, helping it to calm. The clay will help draw out the toxins and help to eliminate and go away. So that's a really good suggestion. Or you could soak in like clay. Like make a bath with clay in it, so it's again helping to draw that toxicity out.
These are all really good.
Calm it down.
I'm like, keep talking.
Well, it's only because I, as a practitioner, I've dealt with this multiple times over the years, right, in various ways. So those things. Also, certain herbs. So sometimes I'm not I love my homeopathics and tonic remedies because they don't counteract or interact. They're super safe. Anybody, any age, any health, any drug, you can take them. That's why I like them. However, sometimes you need to go a little bit more hardcore, right? So herbs would be that next stage up for me. When I need something a little bit more hardcore at a physical level, I will go to herbs. So stinging nettle is a really good one. So if you think of, have you ever touched stinging nettle?
No. Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah.
In the ground.
It's like a little bee sting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a stingy, itchy, horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Well, again, so as an herb, taken as a tincture internally, will help get rid of that itchy, tingly.
Do they have teas?
They do have teas. So you can do teas or you can do extracts. What other ones? Like burdock for helping the liver.
Oh, milk thistle?
Milk thistle for helping the liver. Exactly, cleanse. So things like that.
And this is what I was thinking for kind of in the summer and throughout when the seasons were changing, was digestive bitters.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, so it's dandelion, artichoke, chamomile, turmeric.
Chamomile's a good one.
Cardamom, black walnut, burdock. Did you say that one?
Yep.
And then ginger.
Digestive. Yeah, ginger's good for digestion.
Yeah.
And that would be a great support. Absolutely. So, if yours is a flare-up because of, yes, there's digestive stuff, then that's going to be a great thing to add in. Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a weird rash that's flared? Are you having a weird rash right now? Share with us below. We will reach out and talk to you. And if some of the tips in here maybe helped for a little bit and didn't last long enough, you can grab my eczema and psoriasis. It does all rashes in that kit, and I talk about all kinds of different ways that you can help resolve that issue through diet and nutrition and supplements and, yada yada. One of the things that actually my girlfriend just recommended too, and I'd never heard of this one. Is it St. Francis? No. Who is it? There's a company that makes a salve that on top of the clay. It's I'll share the link below when I think about what it is. But it's red. It's a red clover salve, and it's a
Oh, I don't know this.
yeah. And apparently she's a practitioner friend of mine, and she uses it always with weird rashes and sometimes eczemas and stuff. She said it really helps. Just to calm the surface down. You want to obviously calm it. You don't want to suppress it with steroids, but you want to obviously be able to feel okay and function and not be more and more. Because what happens with these weird rashes is you get more stressed.
That's
so
right.
You're already stressed. It flares. Now you're like, what the hell?
I know.
And then you get mad and anxious and upset and depressed. And
all the things that create
it's
it.
true.
I know, it's a cycle.
It is a vicious circle. So hopefully we've given you some ways that you can take some ownership of it, take some control, and start letting it, it will go away. Yeah, as long as you do lots of great protocols that we've suggested. And if you need some more, reach out.
Yeah, it's perfect. And subscribe and ring the little bell so that you know every time that we put out a really great video. There's lots of great information and a little bit of laugh.
Yeah.
So, just remember that the only thing that you can control in your life is yourself.
Exactly. So for the rest of this week, remember, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely.
Bye.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Okay.
You okay?
I'm good.
You okay?
Are you good?
So much going on over there. Weird rashes.
Don't forget to connect with us on your favorite social media sites so you can share your whole healthcare woes, wins, and other shit you'd like to discuss with us.